Hi, Dan. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Yes, I'm good, thank you. How are you feeling about this evening?
I'm pretty excited. This is we've only shown it to one crowd before tonight, and this I think will be a very different crowd, and I'm anxious to see how they receive the movie.
Well, I'm lucky enough that I have seen the movie. I watched it a couple of days ago, and I thought it was incredibly beautifully shot. I mean, some of those wide shots actually helped me breathe in a film that's super, super intense. What made you choose, obvious question, but what made you choose that area of the world to shoot in?
I mean, it was shot in Alberta on Stoney Nakoda Reservation, and I just think every pocket of the world has its own intrinsic quality of light. And it is a very beautiful, breathtaking landscape that I knew that if we could capture it, it would become permanent in a movie and really lend its as you pointed out, like the beauty to the violence. I love something that can be very adrenalized and intense, but also moving and beautiful. And the landscapes there really lent themselves to getting that.
Absolutely, and I'm a big fan of your other works in The Boys. I think that's absolutely an incredible series, and you capture story so well. It's that thing that just keeps you on the edge of your seat, and this was no different. I mean, again, possibly an obvious question, but what was it that drew you to the franchise, to the story, and to do Prey?
I just was really hell-bent on making a movie that would be primarily told through action, but I didn't want it to just be a visceral experience. I wanted it to be an emotional one as well. So I thought if I could take the engine of a sports film, of an underdog story, and inject it into a genre film, it would be that much more rewarding. And when thinking about making the underdog story, I didn't want it to just be man against the elements. I wanted there to be a real formidable adversary. And of course, then the Predator comes to mind. So.
Absolutely, and it totally worked. I mean, did you come across any difficulty shooting? I mean, obviously, you're shooting in big landscapes, you're shooting in the wild. You know, did you have any difficulties in shooting in wildlife or anything like that?
I mean, one of the most challenging things was actually on the location scouting, because we scouted in the winter to then shoot in the summer, and we had to snap on snowshoes and climb a mountain just to see a snow-covered version of a location that we'd have to pretend we knew what would it look like when the snow melted, and it looked as it would when we would shoot. So that was incredibly challenging. Also, the tall grass sequence that's in some of the trailers, that was just an open field that we had to grow the grass for, planting the seeds, mapping out the timeline of when we would be shooting so that we knew it was the proper height. It was a real scientific excursion, and ended up working out, but it was all very precarious for sure.
Yeah, I can imagine. That's quite incredible. That's such an art form. And just finally, before I let you go down the line, what was it like having a strong female lead in this movie? Because this is more of what the world wants. It's more of what the world needs. I mean, I love the fact that she was a badass woman, but still had that emotive side of things as well, because I think, you know, we can't be men. You know, we have to still have that emotional side of things. So how was it for you shooting with a strong female character?
I think I was very lucky to find someone like Amber who could be so expressive even without words, because this movie is, as I pointed out, you know, so much told through action, and her physicality, and really just, I mean, I think she represents a character that we can all relate to. It's one of the things that, like, you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and the movies of the 80s, and specifically Predator, is more of the wish fulfillment thing. Like, oh, I wish I could be like that guy, but I'm so not. Whereas Amber playing Nadu represents someone that really has to try through blood, sweat, and tears to earn every step of the way of what she's seeking after, and wrestling with doubt from the outside and within. And I think that's something that all of us can relate to, sort of a universal theme. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for talking to us. Congratulations, and really enjoy this evening.